Good morning. It is Tuesday. Holy cow, it's already November. We have so many great things to happen before the end of the year, and I'm glad you're here with us. I'm Katie Sevenance. I am your host of Tips from the Top with Business by Design Online. We are your one-stop shop for all courses and information and value to help you when you are maybe you have a business and you need to make a few changes, or you're ready to just totally take 100% pivot and start your own business. So I'm so glad you're here to joining us today. I have a guest who is like one of my all-time fan crush women who I met years and years ago. And she is going to be here to share her top tips for success. So please join me in welcoming Grace. Grace, okay, so I sort of think I know how to say it. Keohohou Hao?
Very good, Katie. Yes. Keohohou Hao.
So, that sounds way better.
Yeah.
I love it. Joining us all the way from beautiful Hawaii, which I know as we're heading into winter, we're probably all going, gosh, a nice trip there would be great. But you've probably been there for like not being able to travel either. Yes? Pretty strict over there.
Oh, yes. And actually, it has been a wonderful gift. It's been such gifted time. It's been a blessing. I have been a road warrior for 20 years. And so to be able to be in the same place, even my son, my 13-year-old son, he said, Mom, the best thing about COVID is that you are home. You get to be home. And I thought, oh my goodness.
Isn't that amazing to hear from your children? Because we have one perspective, but then to hear from your kids. And I know, I almost feel guilty if I say this has been such a blessing, because I know for a lot of people it hasn't been, but for my family, it's been a wonderful awakening to what's really important. And, we have mom-in-law living here. We have my son-in-law and daughter and grandbaby living here. And it's like, it's the best thing ever. I mean, it really is. I love it. I love the time. So if you hear little feet coming into the room, hey, it's what it is, right?
Yes.
I love it, Grace. So tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got started with your business. And you're a speaker, an author, and like an amazing coach. How would you describe your coaching? Is it for businesses? Is it personal development? Because you do it all.
Oh my goodness. Well, I think that's the beauty of being an entrepreneur, is that we can evolve. And sometimes we choose, or our career path chooses us. Sometimes initially we do the things that we think that will make others happy versus what will really inspire and really we'll feel connected to. So I think it's important to give ourselves permission to evolve, improve, refine, and to reflect on really what matters the most to us and what's our joy zone, so that our work isn't work. Our work is our passion. And so over the course of 20 years ago, my mother looked at me and said, I have this idea for an organization that would serve direct selling professionals globally. And at the time, it was specifically for women. It has since evolved because there were a lot of men that saw the benefit and value of learning these concepts. So my mother, actually, that's how I got involved and became a co-founder of our organization, the Direct Selling World Alliance. And in that process, we learned a skill of coaching. And we're both certified through the Worldwide Association of Business Coaches. And I think that that's important. There are a lot of people out there that call themselves coaches. They just haven't gone through any formal training or are not accredited by a accrediting body. And so we did that, and we have done that for 9 consecutive. This is going to be actually our 10th consecutive year of accreditation, and they hold us to a very high standard of excellence. They're rigorous. And so we love bringing coaching best practices to organizations. So over the last few years, we've expanded our practice. So we have served direct selling professionals for over 20 years, and a lot of traditional businesses go from traditional to direct selling. That's another important thing to know. What we did is we have taken what we've discovered in the direct selling profession and how to communicate, how to connect, how to inspire, how to facilitate conversations, how to coach others, and brought that to traditional business. So now we have been certified through the SBA as a women-owned certified small business. We're also certified through the WRMS. I can't even say it. Like the Western Regional Minority Supplier Development Council.
Wow, that's awesome.
So we're a minority business enterprise, and they hold you to a high standard of excellence. I thought the SBA was challenging to complete as an application for our business. Wow, Minority Business Council, holy.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's what we do. And then what we stand for is I am a mother of 8 and a wife of 1. I know I think I've had children since I saw you, Katie.
Oh my gosh, I know it. When I read that again, I'm like, gosh, yes, because you came and spoke. I don't know. Were you pregnant with the last time? I can't remember, but it was like, holy cow, 8 amazing children. I got to see one pop in. Is that your youngest who popped in earlier?
That's my second to youngest.
Oh.
So our youngest just turned 2, and then we have a 3-year-old. Yeah. And then we go up on our way up from there.
I love it. I love it. What a happy family. It's amazing. Yeah. I love it. And 8 kids is a lot, and you do so much. And so much for other people as well. But I saw that you were nominated Working Mother of the Year or something like that. Or did I get that right? That's huge.
It was such a blessing to be recognized, and then also by the American Lung Association. It was probably one of the greatest honors because it has so much to do with my most important role. You know, I wear a lot of roles, and I have a lot of titles in my work. My most important title, though, is mom and wife. And so when that happened, it was a family celebration. And yeah, the American Lung Association nominated if you go on to the American Lung Association Outstanding Mother of the Year Award, there's a lot of information about it. And I think there were 4 of us women, and I believe over the course of the year, I think each year, maybe there's 50 women that are recognized throughout America. And it was so special, Katie. It was like, wow. I mean, that if that was the only acknowledgement that I received all of my life, I would be completely fulfilled. It's that important to me. So
I agree. I mean, when, like we said at the beginning, those are the most important things that we do. The other stuff is just a way to make it all work. But yeah, I think that's so awesome. I love that. When I heard that, I was like, oh my gosh, that's so cool. I remember your mom was telling me she brags about you all the time. So yeah, that's really cool. All right. So you have 8 children. You live in Hawaii. You're working from home?
yes.
Okay.
Yes, I'm working from home. And what I love, I don't know about all you. Look, we have so many incredible people on here. I'm like, hello.
You have so many fans. Yes.
I mean, I'm loving it. Jerry. Oh my goodness. I've known Jerry for, I think, 20 years.
Exactly.
Oh,
yeah.
So, yeah, I get to, and that's another key ingredient is not communicating to ourselves, I have to, or I must work from home. I get to. Yeah. It's almost like I embrace that as an opportunity. I get to work from home. And my clients are they used to say, Grace, we prefer you come here. So I would fly 20 hours for a 2-hour talk and then fly 20 hours back home. And the location I'm thinking about is Montreal, Canada, where there are no direct flights from literally. You fly, you wait in an airport, catch, and there's nothing straight. So and now I can see that they'll embrace the possibility. They're like, we would rather have something than nothing.
Oh, yeah.
And now more than ever, people are drawn to, how do we communicate with impact? How do we use this platform as a tool to add value, to create instant and rapid connection? And so they're receptive to what we're teaching because they're seeing right now we could use this.
Yes. I think it's interesting in business how it shifted, because for a while it was like, no, you have to be in person. We do in-person events, we do, and everything is changing. And so being able to then say, no, we can get this done. We have learned how to master Zoom. We have learned how to, there's so many things that we have learned that, hey, it's all right. And we're getting the great information, and being able to have things be hands-on where you're learning and doing at the same time too. It's huge. I mean, we're adapting and we're learning new ways of doing business, and that allows us the flexibility as entrepreneurs. Whatever it is, you get to kind of set that schedule and that tone and what works for you, not what works for everyone else. I love that.
Yes, well, exactly. And what I was thinking about the other day is, I said, I was in a couple of countries for 5 different events in one day. And it was a quite abundant Zoom day for me. I think it was 8.5 hours of Zooms and with breaks in between. It was abundant. And I'm willing to do it because I would have been in 5 different locations. That would have probably been 15 days with travel and location. 15 days that I could do in one day. And I love that, because that's global contribution, that's community contribution. And I get to take my children to school, or if they're going to school, and then some of them, I've got some in school, some not in school. And then and I also get to tuck them into bed at night. So that's what I think is important, is that we focus on what is the gift. And one of my mentors recently taught that to me. He said, remind yourself, in any circumstance, there is a gift. Whether we feel horrible about it or whether we feel incredibly fantastic about it, there is a gift in every situation. There is a gift in every circumstance. And so that's one thing that I'll encourage each and every one of us that are on this line, is to think of, okay, it's not according to the plan that I thought was meant for me, and what is the gift? And I'm going to pause for 1 second.
Yes.
Yes.
This is the benefit of us being able to work from home and being flexible to handle whatever the situation is. I know there's jackhammering going out in my driveway right now. Baby just woke up, dogs are going crazy. So it's life, right? This is life, and this is what we get to choose. And I love that these kind of opportunities have come our way, that we are able to do what is important to us. So you guys, I am so glad you guys are all on today, because Grace is such an amazing woman who has so many gifts to share with other people. So yes, Joy, I agree. Like, we can make this work. This is awesome. Yay.
We can make this work.
There's
yes.
no blood.
My daughter's like, my little daughter is holding the other little daughter. I'm like, okay, as soon as I'm finished, we are going to have breakfast. We're going to have brekkie.
Yum. Oh, I love it. I love it. So, okay. So, talking about the gifts that we get to choose, and we can appreciate and look and say, okay, where do we go next? And what are we going to do with this gift? Tell me, when you started your business, I know you guys started together, and primarily for women in direct sales. And I've watched everything change and morph and shift and pivot and all those words that that we're all using. And you guys were prime set to be able to go with online platforms. And I know you have some amazing courses available for people as well, because I've got to test a few out and things like that. So what would you say? I mean, we know you're passionate about helping people in businesses. What are some of your tips that people can really do right now as we're looking at? I mean, you have such a great outlook on where we are and how to reframe things. Do you have some tips that you'd like to share with our audience?
Sure. Well, one thing is to ask yourself to do a little bit of self-coaching and self-reflection with yourself. It's almost like a reset button for right now. But in the past, I would share with people it's valuable to conduct an emotional why assessment, or checking in with yourself, your emotional reasons for what you do and who you be, once or more per year. And what I'm finding, or when there's a high emotional event. Now, what I'm finding is that with the current global opportunities and what we're facing right now, that the pace may pick up with that. There may be value in reflecting on that more often and more consistently. So I'll give you a few indicators that would be clear that our emotional why is no longer clear. One is that when in our business, it's almost like we've gotten comfortable, we've taken up camp, we hit a certain level of leadership or a certain level of it could be income in traditional business, a certain level or title within an organization, and we've gotten comfortable. That is an indication that our why may no longer be clear. Another indication is when we have feast and famine, highs, extreme highs and extreme lows. It's like we have this out of this world month, and then where did the month go? And that's another indication that our why is probably not clear. Another one is when our businesses or our passion or our productivity or our activity is digressing. These are wonderful indicators, and I want you to think about, who is that? Is that me? Or is that someone that I lead in? Is that someone in my life that could benefit from a conversation around that? A couple of things that I would encourage is to ask, well, what am I meant to do? And more importantly, who am I designed to be? What is a priority or significant in my life? What makes what I do meaningful? How is this making a difference for the ones that I love the most, for me, for my community, for my world? I think it's so important. And it's not the material. See, people think, oh, when I hit this certain amount of income, I've made it. Or when I have that house on wherever it is, when I have that house, or when I drive that car, when it's outside of them. It's almost like I will be happy when, versus what am I grateful for right now? What is bringing me joy now? Those things are not going to bring you joy. What will bring you joy is the meaning, the significance behind them. That's emotional. That is a feeling that we have. So what feeling will I have when I am living out that life? Or what feeling can I embrace now that I'm currently living? See, I think sometimes people are waiting or getting ready to get ready. Well, it's right now. Our life is now. We're promised this moment. Who knows about tomorrow? So that would be something that if I were going to share something, one is to be an ally to self and to ask yourself questions that are life-giving questions. So asking yourself questions that elevate you, that inspire you, that lift you up. Because when you have a habit of asking yourself these questions, the best version of you is bound to show up. When the best version of you shows up, it is almost like it's multiplied with the people that you're around.
Yes.
Also, questions that you ask yourself, Katie, what happens is that when you go to ask someone else, they'll be fluid. You will flow in the conversation. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, it's interesting because I think a lot, at least from my history, being in direct sales since 1990, like forever, we always talk about our why. And you talk about that as the main thing that gets you up out of bed every day, and to really be focused. And it shifts and changes as you grow, but to always like think about your why. And we talk about that. But I think a lot of women in traditional business or an entrepreneurship don't always stop and think about, why am I doing this? It's like, just to build a business or just to make money, but without spending that time to really think about what's it really meaning to you and what is it meaning to the people around you. I think that's really key, because it isn't a lot of, it doesn't come natural, and it's a different way of thinking. And I think that is so important to be able to make those changes and feel motivated. And I mean, there are days when you don't want to get out of bed, but when you can really think about what's bigger than that getting out in the cold morning, putting your feet on the floor, you got to think about what's bigger. What does it really mean for you, and what brings you that joy and passion?
Oh, it's so true. That's so true. And I think that sometimes what happens is that there's a lot of noise and a lot of distraction, which is the opposite of traction. So when there's a lot of noise and a lot of distraction, we can focus on the outer world versus focusing within. So this is one of my favorite quotes. I absolutely love it. It's by Carl Gustav. And he said, those who look outside dream, those who look within awaken.
Wow.
Those who look outside dream, those who look within awaken. When we pause and invest moments and time to be reflective, to be introspective, to see beyond the moment, so embrace and have gratitude for the moment, and then see beyond it of what direction am I moving in, and how will that serve many. I think each day we have an opportunity to say yes to our vision, yes to our why. And it's not just saying yes, it's also doing some of this, activating.
Right. I love that. That's really good. And I think spending, like, if you can just spend more time on that than all the other things, then you're not reacting, right? You're just doing, because that's what you do.
Yes. Yes. Reacting it's almost like we are waiting for something to happen in order to do something. There are many people that wait for the phone to ring, that wait for someone to knock on their door, wait for success to fall from the sky and land on them. And wanting begets wanting. And reacting is a passive approach to business and life, whereas responding and being responsive and being proactive and creating. And I love your whole concept of business by design. I'm a believer of that. It is life by design,
right,
or life by default. Life by design or life by default. We can design a life, or we can just go on living.
Right. Right. And now I think a lot of people kept, at least for a while, I would hear people say, well, as soon as things get back to normal, And it's like, no, today, like you said, we have today. Let's make those shifts. Let's pivot. Let's find other ways that fuel us, and that we can do something different. If that's what it is, make some shifts. Some are small, some are big. But being able to identify that, the way I was doing that before isn't going to work right now. And let's do something a little different, and make sure it aligns with you and what makes you, that is in your soul.
Oh, I love that. Yes. And that willingness, it's being adaptable. It's being willing to make some adjustments. It's navigating new normals. It's and that's where we create our agility. That's where we get flexible, just as we would like for our bodies to be flexible. What a beautiful opportunity to be flexible business women and men.
Yeah.
So that, we are overcomers. We are perseverers. I mean, that's the kind of language, the kind of self-acknowledgement we can give ourselves. And I would really love for you to do that. It's almost like looking in yourself in the mirror from, what have I overcome? What have I worked through in this season? And give yourself a pat on the back. Because
Yeah.
sometimes what happens is it's like we keep going and not pausing for a moment and saying, look at how far you've come.
Right.
Look at the journey that you've walked on, and celebrate that a bit, because that's what's going to refuel and recharge us, give us the stamina to continue to go forward. See, if we're standing still, we're behind.
Right. Right. I just read that yesterday. So something about that too. That's so true. People don't realize just by doing nothing, you're going backwards. And sometimes those things that we can celebrate don't have to be huge. They can be little successes, and you don't want to measure it to anyone else. It's where are you versus where were you yesterday, and what little changes can you make to succeed and to keep moving forward. And I love that. Yeah, really good. Yay.
I love that you said not to compare ourselves to others, that we're running our own race. This was such a fabulous story about Michael Phelps in one of his races for gold. And I shared this. I've shared this since I've learned it, and it's been so impactful, and I'd love to be able to share it with all of you.
Yeah.
Michael Phelps was in one of his races, and this photographer was taking pictures. And the gentleman that was right next to Michael Phelps, he was they were back and forth right together. And the cameraman caught this picture. Michael Phelps had his head down, and he was swimming towards the end block. And the cameraman caught the person that was just behind him looking at Michael Phelps. And the caption read, "Winners focus on their goals. Losers focus on the winner."
I have goosebumps. That's so true. We don't need to compare ourselves to anyone else. Just be clear on where you're going and what you're doing. And oh, that's so good.
How do you define success would be a great place to start. See, there's sometimes people say, I'd like to be successful in business. Well, what does success mean to you? Like, really, it's not what it means to your company. It's not what it means to your organization. It's not what it means to your friends. It's really, what does success mean to you? And then how can I live that each day? How can I be? See, this is another thing that I like to share with people. How sometimes people say, I'd like to connect and to be around more leaders. I'd like to find more leaders for our company or for our business. I'm looking for leaders. And I say, well, define those leaders. And they'll define them for me. And I said, now, how can you be what you're looking for?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Knowing what that is and what does it look like and what does it mean every day.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so good. So good. So we can all be the important leaders that we need and bring that up. I was looking through to see all our comments. You have a lot of fun comments here. All right. So you have such great information to share. I love it. Has there been a moment in your business where you really had to pivot, that you really had to take a look in your journey and go, oh my gosh, this isn't working. We need to make a shift?
Oh, yes. In the infancy of our business. And I'm sure a lot of people can relate. I mean, in the infancy of our business, I was the shipping department. I was the editor. I was the QuickBooks data entry person. I was customer service. And it was like so grateful that we were able to pivot that over to other people that that are skilled in that area. And grateful though that anything that we ask of our team, I have done at some stage. Yeah. Now that we have more technical savvy things, I don't say that I've done all of those things. Thank goodness they're skilled at the things that I'm not. And that's, I think, an important point is who are we surrounded with or who can we find that would be skilled in the areas that we're not as skilled. And that's one of the things that I love about Henry Ford. People would say, you're such a genius. You're so incredible. And Henry Ford said, yeah, I'm a genius because I surround myself with people that are better than me in areas that are not necessarily my strength.
Right.
That made him a genius in business. And so it's not, if it's meant to be, it's up to me. If it's meant to be, it's up to us. How can we work collaboratively? Who can we engage in the process so that, especially with what we do, I mean, we are curriculum developers. That is not created in a funnel. That's created with practice. That's created with being out with people from a variety of different types of organizations, education, government, banking, insurance, direct selling. I mean, you name it. We at global direct selling businesses, local direct selling businesses. I mean, there are a variety, and that's how we sharpen our tools. Right. That's how it's better. It's not by sitting behind our desk. It's being with people.
Right.
It's asking them the questions and saying, what have you discovered that works? And what challenges have you faced recently in your business? These are questions that we ask our clients. So what's working well? What are you proud of? What is in flow right now for the organization? And where do you see that there's opportunities for impact? Where do you see that there's opportunities to strengthen that will make a difference for the overall organization?
Right. I love that. It's a collaborative communication. And that's one of the things that why we love these interviews, because we are reaching out to other women that are rock stars that have been through growths and successes and failures and learning and adapting, and that have great information to share. And that's why we're so excited that we got to feature you today as well, because Grace, you and your mom both mean so much to me, because you've shaped the way I try to do my business and the way I look at things. And so it's an honor that we got to have you here. And if people want to learn more about the direct selling, okay, wait, it's changed. I know. What's the name now? What? Yes. DSWA is easy, but what is it called? Direct Selling World Alliance?
Yes, Direct Selling World Alliance. We chose that to be inclusive. Yeah. And so Direct Selling World Alliance. And then also the SBA and government aspect of our business is coachwithgrace.com. And at both of those websites, we provide some complimentary trainings and things like that if you want to experience the quality of our work. So coachwithgrace.com and dswa.org. Those are our two websites.
I'm putting those in the chat right now so that people can connect with you, because you guys offer a lot. I know that as direct sellers, there are so many issues that people face in that industry as well. And I love that as an organization to reach out and connect with so many direct sales, you are able to offer things to people like the insurance that I think is huge for people who sometimes stay in a job because they need the insurance, for example. And now you offer other alternatives. So I love what you are doing with your business. And it's so nice to reconnect with you again.
The same way, Katie. This has been so fun. I'm so grateful there were so many people that joined us and invested the time to invest in themselves.
Yes.
we don't unlearn things and also I love this. Napoleon Hill said it so well. He said, once the mind expanded, it never takes its original shape. So we're expanding our minds by tapping into things that will fuel us forward. So thank you for this. And if there are questions, you can connect with me on Facebook. I'm personable. Actually, I had somebody that reached out to me and she was like asking a question about something in her business. And I said, well, would you like to talk? And she was like, what? She said, would you like to have a conversation? And she goes, what? And I said, well, yeah.
Real on the phone.
Yeah. And that's the key. Even in our business, we are in a people business.
Yes.
And let's be available to people that want to have conversation. And so that's something that I'll even encourage you is to share with people, I'm available. If you have a question, either message me and I'll give you a response. I'll point you to a resource, or let's pick up the phone and make that connection.
Especially now, that connection. Yes, I agree. More than ever before. I think we've seen businesses switch to all technology, no touch, and now everybody's realizing, that worked for a little while. Now let's get back to the real key to business and its communication and relationships and connection.
And connection and being there for each other.
Yeah.
And it was a simple response. I was happy to share it because when people have a question for you, it's not just you sharing knowledge. It's also you're discovering something that could be useful for others. So when somebody asks you a question, recognize that if there is a gap with one person in your organization, it is likely a training gap amongst many. So their question is a gift to us, and it's an opportunity. So now when I go to events, I'll ask people, what is it that you'd like to walk away from this event with? What would be a takeaway for you that you'd like to make sure that you have hold of and that you can walk with for the rest of your journey? And I used to throw those, I have big paper on the wall and it's Post-its and I'm writing them down and I used to toss them. Now I take a picture of it because I said, they're telling me what they want to learn. They're telling me all of these other trainings that we could develop because this is what they're looking for. So whenever somebody comes to you with a question, it's actually a gift. Could be an opportunity to train them on it, or it could be an opportunity to coach them on it. They may already have the answer that they're looking for, or they may have, and which I usually believe that they do. Actually, they do have the answer, and then we may be able to add some things to that answer that they don't know yet.
I remember filling that out at a presentation that you were at, and it's awesome to be able to do that and then be able to know what's on your mind. And that way, you're serving them in your presentation too. I love it. It's so awesome. Well, you get to start your day bright and early. Thank you for sharing your morning with us here at Business by Design Online. And I look forward to connecting with you again very, very soon. Thank you, Grace. I will put all your info is here. I appreciate you sharing so much with our community. And if people have questions, please post your questions down there. Get to know Grace because you will love her just like I do.
Thank you, Katie.
Thank you, Grace.
Everyone.
Your mom. Take care.
Thank you. See you soon.
Bye.